Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Okay, before we start, I would like to inform you that this paper has been completed by 3 authors, which are Puan Zarina binti Sulaiman, myself, Nazihan binti Muhammad, and Encik Muhammad Syuhada Muhammad Noor. Okay. Our topic of presentation is the impact of COVID-19 on academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar students. I will present this paper on behalf of the authors. Okay, we look at to introduction. COVID-19 pandemic has affected all levels of education system, according to Nicole 2020. Educational institutions around the world in 192 countries have either temporarily closed or implemented localized closure affecting about 1.7 billion of student population worldwide, referred to UNESCO 2020. Many universities around the world either postpone or cancel all campus activities to minimize the gatherings and hence decrease the transmission of virus. Okay, next we go through to literature review. Okay, we have 4 points focusing on literature review. Okay, the point number 1, student academic performance during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, a report from the Means 2009 on the comparison of online learning with offline learning found that an overage student who study in all or most of their courses in online perform better than students who took the same course in the more conventional face-to-face or classroom format. Okay, again, Means found out that students who study via online perform better than those who study via offline. Okay, additionally, a study conducted by VU 2015 revealed that students in online and hybrid formats perform better than students in more traditional version of comparable courses. Okay, refer to point number 2, online learning disruption and their relation to academic performance. The success of any information students in any information system depends on the usage of the system by user, according to Almia 2018. So, in the context of e-learning during pandemic, student ubiquity and acceptance of the e-learning system should be considered. The students and teachers will face problems when studying and teaching at home. Okay, next we move on point number 3, assessment and evaluation and their relation to academic performance. Okay, assessment is an integral part of the teaching and learning process that challenges educators to consider the variety of assessment technique that will meet the subject learning needs, refer to Nolan 2011. Okay, the development of an effective formative assessment system, according to Macho and Sangra 2007, is a necessary feature in teaching. Assessment must identify weaknesses and strengths in the student learning process through permanent feedback. Student assessment tracks student performance and ascertain whether the learning goals have been achieved. Okay, according to Chia 2004, noted that formative assessment enable educator in making important daily instruction decision. Okay, for the last point for literature review, social interaction and their relation to academic performance. Some authors have argued that online interaction promotes student-centered learning and encourage participation more than classroom learning, according to Karayan and Crow 1997 and Smith and Hadeker 2000. Considering this, Davis and Graf 2005 found that the more the interaction in an online learning platform, the higher the performance of the student. Okay, next we look at research question. Okay, research question number 1. What is the relationship between learning disruption and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar students? Okay, next research question number 2. What is the relationship between assessment and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student? Okay, research question number 3. What is the relationship between social interaction and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student? Okay, we go through research objective. Okay, this study aims, research objective number 1, to identify the relationship between learning disruption and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Okay, research objective number 2, to identify the relationship between assessment and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar students. Research objective number 3, to identify the relationship between social interaction and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Okay, next, there are 3 research hypotheses involved in this study. Okay, research hypothesis 1, there is a significant relationship between learning disruption and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Research hypothesis number 2, there is a significant relationship between assessment and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Research hypothesis number 3, there is a significant relationship between social interaction and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Okay, for research framework, this study to identify the main factors that influence the academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student, especially in commerce department, and to examine the relationship between independent variables, which is learning disruption, assessment and evaluation, and limited social interaction, and dependent variable of students' academic performance. Okay, next, research design and methodology. Okay, this study using quantitative approach. Okay, sample size is 150 commerce department students from Politeknik Ungku Omar, Ipoh. The data analysis we use as a statistical package for social science, SPSS 25 version. Okay, next, we go through to data analysis and discussion on findings. Okay, for objective number 1, to identify the relationship between learning disruption and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Okay, the Pearson correlation coefficient we get 0.815. Okay, for discussion, hypothesis is learning disruption has a significant relationship with academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, next, objective number 2, to identify the relationship between assessment and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar students. Okay, the correlation coefficient we get 0.763. Okay, this assessment has a significant relationship with academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, for the last objective, to identify the relationship between social interaction and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. The correlation coefficient is 0.798. Okay, the social interaction has a significant relationship with academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, so the highest correlation coefficient is we get to the objective number 1, okay, which is to identify the relationship between learning disruption and academic performance of Politeknik Ungku Omar student. Okay, next we move to conclusion. Okay, based on Almaya to 2020 on factors influencing the e-learning during COVID-19 pandemic, show online learning disruption factor is one of the critical factors that affect the usage of e-learning system according to respondents, which were similar in this study and will impact the student academic performance. Okay, in conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the academic performance of Polytechnic Ungku students, and there is a need for Polytechnic and lecturers to address this challenge to ensure that students receive the support they need to succeed in their academic pursuit.